Through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. Your spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land we embrace.
You are welcome to the Bottomline Liberia.
Well, good evening. Today is Friday, and today is the 24th of July 2026, and meaning that by next week, Friday, when we are here, will be the final day for July. So we are progressing very fast in the year 2026. Soon it's going to be the 8th month, and then we have 4 more months to go. But the questions that many Liberians will be asking at the end of the year in the next 4 months is, what has Liberia achieved positively? Or is Liberia on the right path? Or are there progress under this government? And what do we expect in the coming years that are remaining for this government? And so those are some of the questions that well-meaning Liberians will be asking. But my colleague Mark Judafa is in Sweden, and he's well settled and ready for tonight's show. Hopefully we'll be joined by the rest of the crew. Paul the Lord Tripley might be joining us pretty soon. And then, of course, Francis Mensah, we can assure that he will be here because he's the president of the Liberian associations in Europe. So it's a big July 26 program going on in Belgium, and he has to be there. And I know what it is to be at that program. So it's going to be a busy weekend for him. So we don't expect him to be here. But by chance, if he can pop in, great. But let me say welcome to you, Matt. How are you? How's your day?
I'm doing good from my end in Sweden. It's been a healthy day at work, but the weather is wonderful. Yeah. So how you doing?
Well, I'm fine. And weather-wise, today we do not have sun. It's very dull today, but it's not cold. I think it was reading 17 today, so it's not really cold. But there was no sun at all. So it's been dull. I mean, there was some shower here and there because I remember when I came outside this afternoon to run 1 or 2 errands, I saw the ground was kind of a little bit wet. But I mean, the weather is good.
And
then
yesterday it rains on our end in Sweden, like
oh no, yes,
Liberia, my man.
we have hot sun.
Oh,
So
it
maybe
rained in
that
Sweden like Liberia. It reminded me of the rain in Liberia. Yeah,
I
it
think
really rained.
that is spilled over from your room or trying to come to our house. So
I'm telling you.
we went out in your keep you on our side. But
Yeah.
let me ask you, just before we start the show officially, we're going to take our musical break. But let me ask you, how is the July 26th celebration with you? I mean, it doesn't have to be a big party, but like your own celebration. Even if you're not attending one of those big parties, I'll be around Europe.
The July 26th for me and all Liberians always bring that memory back home of to we in the diaspora, and we always think about Mama Liberia, and we wish Mama Liberia well. But it's always a big day to us, no matter where we are. Yeah, so I'm spending today is Friday, and because of the show, I couldn't go out. There's a celebration in Sweden, but I think it's going to continue tomorrow. Yeah. So, yeah, for me, the July 26th, it means a lot to me. Yeah, it means a lot to me.
Liberia at 179 years old. and comparing, I mean, you've traveled, you live in Europe, and you've traveled several European countries, and then you have seen other places. So if you were to, just make I mean, not big comparison, but in terms of, other countries that have reached the age that we are,
Mhm.
179 years, and see some of their progress, what would you say? How would you describe that compared to Liberia's situation?
Well, Liberia situation is so pathetic that a country at this age, Liberia was prospering compared to some European country. But the thing is, after the Tutman and the Tolba coming to the door, after these three visionaries that are named, because say what you want to say about Tottenham, he was there for 30 some more years. But Tottenham tried to, how they call it, develop Liberia. It is during his time that we have few seaport built in Liberia. And then it is the Tottenham that built the executive mansion, and he brought a lot of development to Liberia, for which Liberia in West Africa and across Africa was considered to be a country that was prospering, even compared to some countries in the Middle East. Then you come to the Tolba era, historically, you look at pictures on YouTube and stuff. So the Tolba era also expanded that Liberia was a production, semi-industrial country, because we had a lot of factories. Then the Samuel Doe King, he continued, he didn't just dismantle, he continued. But now the problem with Liberia, as you refer asked the question, the new group of politicians or generation, there seems to be visionless people. Yeah, there seems to be visionless people that only think about their belly. And just imagine after 20 years plus, look at Rwanda, okay? It just took the Rwandese like 15 years, I might say, 15 years to get the country on track and even beyond, okay? So Rwanda, they have visionaries, political infrastructure development agenda as to where they want to see the country. But Liberia, for that matter, these guys, there is no vision for the country. They just, I mean, doing things by heart. This one come to power, uh, abandon the other person, the project, knowing that the money that was spent on whatsoever project is the money of the Liberian people for the mineral resource. Look, for example, the nonsense that Mr. Selly did, former President Selly did. And the building that President Doe was building the old defense ministry, she came and abandoned that project and did different thing. I think it was broken down. So now, if you even ask all the politicians that are running to be president in Liberia, what kind of infrastructure developmental plan they got for Liberia? Look, Linford, Liberia is one of the most beautiful countries. If you fly, you enter in Liberia. For example, Monrovia, Linford, you live in Norway. Monrovia alone, if you get a good architect, okay, and there's a vision for the capital city alone, to say, oh, okay, we want to have a 50 billion invested into the capital city, and this is where we want to find the capital city in the next 15 to 20 years with a $50 billion infrastructure development. For example, we want to have hospitals, the road. We want to have, for example, these train running from, for example, Broadway as far as Rowers, Habel. We want to have, you name it, For example, look at the slipway area, okay? That water that connect all the way to Congo Town. These are the same area that the European countries got. For example, go to London, okay? You get downtown London, how the water divide the one end to another, the bridges until they build, for example, three different to four different kind of bridges. That's how Monrovia look. But the people we got in Liberia, they are clueless. They just think about themselves. So all these
Okay,
politicians, honestly speaking, liver, yeah,
okay, we'll go. Like I always say, Liberia's case is like one old car. You cannot solve one side. By the time you finish with the engine, maybe then the gasket finish. By the time you put the gasket in,
exactly,
the thing start leaking. So let's say welcome
exactly.
to our colleague Paul the Lord Triple. He's in London. When you mention London, then I try to imagine London. When I was in the UK, every time I went to London, I was like, oh, feeling bored. I don't know why. But there's one attraction in London that I like, the underground. Not because the underground is beautiful, but the underground looks old and dirty, and and this is a great London, right? But Paul, welcome. Sorry for talking about your underground. I know you commute there all the time. You know all the good and bad part. Maybe I'll go to the wrong place. Victoria was always the most place that I visited when it comes to the underground. But how are you doing, Paul?
Well, good evening, gentlemen, and I will say good evening to our audience as well. Some kind of feedback I'm getting.
Yeah,
Check
it's from your end.
I think it's your
I'm
gadget, so
hearing it too.
It's my
what?
device, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
nah,
hearing it too.
yeah. Oh, because you're
There's an
using headphone.
echo
But for me, I'm
coming.
talking directly from my computer, so I'm not hearing it. But I want to say welcome to those of you joining us the first
Oh,
time,
hey,
guys. Do
much.
me please help
Let
us
me.
to share the show. And Paul was just in flight when he said you were hearing some device. But Paul, you are clear. I think the audience hearing well. So
Much better now.
I'm not hearing you.
It's echoing, so I don't know if you could go out and come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we
So
want to say
while Paul
welcome
does
to our
all of
audience.
that.
Yeah.
While Paul does all of that, we're going to take our quick musical break and then come back because time is far going as we got a lot on the plate tonight to discuss. And this is, and Ma was just talking about our age. We are 179 years old. So this is a country that has been, even 50 years is enough for a country to develop. Can you imagine? I was looking at
No,
one
no,
picture from,
Brother
I was
Linford.
looking at one picture from
Sorry to interrupt you, Brother Linford. If you have a visionary president, right, that take over that country, man, 50 years is too much, Brother
Yeah, 50
Linford.
years too much because I
It's too
was looking
much.
at I was looking at one picture from uh somewhere in America, was in Mississippi or somewhere in 1963, which is the
Yeah.
same year that I was born. In 1963 to this year makes it complete 63 years old. And then I imagine the recent picture of that particular city just within 60 years. You see, so I'm like, oh, so you
Brother
mean
Paul, say something, please. Sorry, Brother Linford.
Good evening.
uh, for me, I
Is
can't hear
it
the
much
echoes.
better now?
I don't know. You had other earpiece. You try and do away with this one.
Yeah, I think this are getting that feedback. So I think it's the
What
Yeah, do
earpiece.
away
what
with it
you
one.
do?
Yeah.
It
I don't
much
know
better.
if you're wearing an
No.
earpiece. Well, you using computer or phone?
No, I'm using my laptop.
Okay, so if you're using your laptop and then you get an earpiece, you need to reduce the volume of the laptop. Just reduce it a little bit and see. Because all two could be coinciding. Say something else here.
Yeah, go in flat. Let me reduce it. I think it's still echoing.
Yeah, it's still the same. I think let Paul change the auto direct through the computer. I
So
want to say good evening to Augusta God to me.
like we were saying, we're gonna take our quick break and then when we come back, then we'll continue the show.
Yeah,
And
we
for
dive into the show.
we got a lot on the plate to discuss tonight for you Liberians. So wherever you are watching us, we want you to invite your friend, and you all can watch together because we are here together.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber. Stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed and not unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. No one to trust, my people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they said they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then stay they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed and not unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
You're watching the review of Liberian newspapers headlines that made news during the week on the Bottomline Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
Well, welcome again back to the Bottomline Liberia discussions. And like you heard in the promo, you are listening to a review of the major news in Liberia. We are not making up new things here, that things that you may have already heard, but heard it from different angles, or you watch it from different perspectives. And we are here to give our own perspectives, as we are all Liberians, when we see things from different views. So on the panel tonight is Mark Judah Farr and Paul the Lord Chirople and myself, Linford. We'll be here to give you the information as we have it and as you would like to have it as well. Um, but before we do that, before we say anything, we just want to acquaint you with some of the major things that we'll be discussing, and it is in the form of questions that we'll be asking tonight. So we're asking, should the police RG, that is Gregory Como, be dismissed or sacked? Let's use the word sacked because sack would mean we send a strong message. Be sacked by the president of Liberia, Mr. or President Joseph Numa Boakai, and at the same time be investigated. That is, should the president fire Gregory Como and investigate him? And a lot of people will be asking why. And we'll tell you our own opinions why we are asking this question. We do not have the answer as to why, but we can explain reasons why we should strongly believe that it should be sacked. And it's Liberia and Liberians, or are Liberia and Liberians saved under this particular Unity Party government in this time, at this point in time? Another question is Liberia a distribution center, or has Liberia become a distribution center for drugs throughout Africa and even beyond? And somebody will say, why are you guys asking all these questions? We'll comment on it. We'll give our views, the panelists. And some of you will get to understand why we ask this question. And we are not asking you to give us answer, and we are not asking because we know the answer, but we are asking these questions. They are hypothetical questions that will make all of us to begin to think. Then we'll also be looking at why Liberians are not being told. Why is the government not telling Liberians what is happening at the Guinea-Liberia border? Why are they mute? Why are they silent? And they say silence means consent. If you are silent on any issue, once you are silent, it means you agree to it. So those are some of the things we'll be discussing. But in the meantime, we ask that you sit with us, share the show, take your favorite drink, and don't be shy about it. If you can drink beer, take it, man. If you can call your barrico, take it. I know what I can take, my know that somebody can take anything. Or I am talking, I know. Or maybe whatever you can take it and stay with us as we cruise through the show tonight. I want you to confess.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
Yeah, I want you to
brother.
confess, but I know you can do small things. So
Exactly.
On a Friday lady, what would you recommend to our viewers?
On a Friday, I mean, it depends the weather condition to you, but yeah, you can take your little stuff and yeah. Most
Yeah,
especially we
and get
Liberians are
and get
celebrating
active, man.
we Liberians are celebrating the July 26th, and it start today the 24th, and the 26th fall on the weekend. So yeah, you gotta make yourself happy and think about Mama Liberia and your fellow Liberian in the diaspora and people back home. Yeah, yeah. July 26th they expect from you. Oh, my 26th, my 26th. It's a big day with Olympus. So yeah.
I
But I
agree
do
with
go
you.
high. I do go high though.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I,
high.
I, I
Yeah.
agree with you when you say uh, our citizens or
Like now
Liberians.
I'm on my Dom Perignon.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
It's
Well,
champagne,
I
you
haven't been
know.
to Sweden.
Yeah.
No, that Sweden I can get myself. I haven't been to Sweden for a while, so
No, but
nothing doing.
if one of the best I recommend for you, you go on a boat. You go for cruise. Yeah, and there where you find
I
good
always do that.
quality.
We
Yeah.
always go to Kiev from there
Oh,
in
but then
Germany.
come on. Yeah.
Yeah, but one thing you said caught my eye is or ears is that that you are Liberian. We are all Liberians, so this is our national day or our flag. I mean, our Independence Day, and so disregard all of what's happening in the country. I mean, the country it will get fixed, but we need a represent. But in the meantime, with all these situations, all the things that we're going through, nobody can make you happy but yourself. So wherever you are celebrating the July 26th, we want to reach out to you and say happy 26th, our 26th on you. If you can give the bottom line or 26th gift, we appreciate that. We are here for you and you are there for us. So we are giving you our 26th. So it leave with you now to give us our 26th. They say if Mohammed go to the mountain can sometimes go to Mohammed. So, but tonight, the biggest question is, should the police RG, uh, Mr. Gregory O. Coleman, you got someone that old in his initial, Gregory Coleman, be sacked by the president? And Mark, if you were to make a proposal to the Liberian government concerning the police RG, especially when it comes to the recent uh, discovery of drugs in the country and the way things have been going. And besides that, and in addition, the way we see things back, cases being handled by the police from the past where no, so to speak, in a Liberian terminology, no hair, no tay. Should all of these accumulate and be a cause for the president to dismiss the police RG? If you were asked, will you make that recommendation to the police, to the president, citing some of these examples?
I mean, let's say, for example, Alexander Cummings become president. I have direct link to Mr. Cummings, or I'm someone who is in the background and give some idea and XYZ. That's the first thing I'll recommend to Mr. Cummings, that the way the case was handled from the beginning by the police and the security apparatus, I would have told Mr. Cummings, he's doing his meeting with these people, that he hold them accountable. And if the case were to go exactly the way it is now with this UP government, I would make a recommendation directly. And with the what has unfolded during the past 3 days, I would make a recommendation that the police inspector be removed from his position, because, yeah, based on the question you just asked. But if we go into the topic now, that he blundered. Yeah, he blundered big time. Yeah.
Okay, but let me ask you, because you are like, answering your question very, very critically. You are saying if Mr. Cummings was to become president or was the one in power, but Mr. Cummings had not become president yet, and we don't know whether he will become president until after the election when the Liberian people decide. But now, as a Liberian citizen, and this thing affects every one of us, ANC, Unity Party, all other parties and their people, this thing affect them. So if let's be hypothetical again. If the president is listening, or somebody close to the president is listening, and you as a Liberian want to make this recommendation, do you think you can make it to this current president?
Yeah, I'll make a recommendation to the current president that the police to save the administration of embarrassment, except someone who doesn't understand politics and administration and management. Yeah, I will make I will tell the president that this police director has to go because he's an embarrassment to the institution and to the administration, to save the administration of embarrassment, because the Liberian people that employ you, that employ us, they are not happy. Yeah.
The president may just ask you why you want this RG to go.
Okay. From the initial stage, he blundered, and some of the suspect names have fled the country, and no one know where they at. That's one, and then two.
You mean in the $19 million cocaine case, right?
Yeah, in a $19 million cocaine case, and then two, the money, the 10,000 that he received, not directly but indirectly, and gave the other fellow. I don't know his position. I've not gone into that, but he's one of the high ranking in the police. So that he received the 10,000, the police director, and gave 2,000 to the fellow. That was a blunder. He was set up. The fellow in prison wife took the $10,000 to this I don't know, assistant or whosoever police officer that has direct connection to the IG, and the IG took the money, received the money, and gave 2,000. I think the fellow impressed in because he's being pushed under the bus because the IG has some involvement with this drugs scandal. So they were set up. Yeah, they were set up big time. Yeah.
Okay.
If I fall,
Um.
everybody fall.
Okay. It's getting interesting. At least for the fact that names are coming up, and especially in the second case, where uh, it is alleged that the deputy police commissioner, his name is Johnny Dean, will post his picture, and this picture comes from the closing argument, so it is not our our work, it is the work of the closing argument, and let's give them that credit. So uh, the fellow whose picture you see here, um, and we're getting the information that he received 10,000 United States dollars uh, from the suspects so that they can provide comfort for them in jail. And I don't know what comfort is talking about. Like they should have, good living condition. And I don't know how they will get comforted in the jailhouse. But whatever it is, I haven't been there before, so I don't know the conditions there. But this he allegedly received the money to provide comfort for the suspects that were in jail, and for that, the police RG Gregory Como has relieved him of his post with immediate effect. His name is Johnny Dean, and uh, according to Gregory Kumo, the RG, and according to the information that we are gathering from the closing argument, Johnny Dean is supposed to be investigated by the I think some professional standard division of the police, and if found guilty or after their investigation, then we'll maybe, I don't know, forward him to the court. But as we speak, uh, there have been some development in the case again. So same, I mean, I'm sorry to say same because I had a friend who worked me, former worked me, who is consenting. So every time the name Dean comes to my mind, that same name will come. But I don't know whether he got any relationship with his any kind of the other relatives. I'm not too sure. But Johnny Dean is awaiting the investigation from the professional standard division of the police, and from there he will be, I think, turned over to, because I don't think the professional standard division can reprimand people and say, okay, the person going to jail or whatever. You got to go through the regular court and go through proper investigation and whatever, where you can have the opportunity to take to take a piece. But Paul, I don't know if you're following the story. Uh, we are on the first topic, that is whether the police RG should be dismissed or sacked by the president of Liberia for what most people see as being compromised, as being very weak uh, in most people's description, and as being somebody who they do not trust. Can you make that recommendation to the president as well?
Good evening, gentlemen. Is my device okay now?
Well, for me, it's
Yes, okay.
okay.
Right. Good evening to our audience. This is the Lord Chilope, friend of King Charles. Listen, guys, what would it cost that uh, this brother was this, how to call it, dismissed, or what if the military word they can use if they got rid of him because of some sort of corruption, what led to his dismissal? And if that dismissal has to link with Gregory Cuomo, why is Gregory Cuomo still there? He should also be dismissed because from the allegation that were put out there that there were $10,000 given to this guy, and that $10,000 he gave it to Gregory Cuomo, and he was given 2,000. If that the case, the both money were passed in hand with him and Gregory Cuomo. So why is Gregory Cuomo still around? That means the police department, the national police, have been compromised from the very top. So Gregory Coleman should be in a normal country, he will be gone. But then the issue here is why are they protecting Gregory Coleman? If he protected Gregory Coleman, he might know something that we don't know. So when you keep hearing anything about big hands involved, look, Liberia have a way of saying things. Say, if you pull rope, rope pull bush. And this is a situation that we face with a drug situation in Liberia. So it is a difficult topic, but Gregory Coleman should be suspended. If they don't want to sack him, he should be suspended, and the whole police department need to go on a serious investigation because it seems to me that the police, the National Police Service, have been compromised.
But this whole thing is paradoxical because where the Gregory Como uh, that is alleged to have received the $10,000 that was given to this Johnny Dean, his deputy,
Mhm.
and he did receive, according to the other information that the Johnny Dean gave him that money. Johnny Dean received the money from whoever
Yeah.
gave it, and then he gave it to Gregory Como, and he Johnny Dean got 2,000, right? That's what the information is saying, right?
Yeah.
But Gregory Como's account, for which he dismissed this guy, is saying that this guy received the money. He did not mention whether
So let Linford, Gregory Coleman did not dismiss him. It was the president of Liberia, I think the security advisor and the NSC advisor called this guy when the president and the John security took a decision to disrobe him for the allegation. So it was not Gregory Coleman. So if the John security took that decision, then why is it Gregory Coleman still hanging about? Because
yeah,
that's the story.
but if you read the story from where we cue this picture, it is Gregory Como now giving the dismissal news of this guy. So I said to
Yes,
say
he
he's
did
doing
because he did because what happened? It was Prince C. Johnson that actually called this guy. You see, so
Yeah,
Gregory Coleman, as usual, he will take to the social media to talk, to make it look like he's in charge of everything. So this
gu-
guy should be dismissed as well.
guys, looking at the the rank of the people involved, this guy, his rank, I don't think it was a presidential appointment. I've not gone into his level into the police, what rank he has. So I think Gregor Coburn had the authority to have dismissed this guy and not reaching the president because I don't think his position is a presidential appointee position. So Gregory had it. But the whole thing here is that this thing was a setup. Yeah, because the lady gave the $10,000. Why she had to go to the national security director? Okay, she went to the national security director to complain these guys because the husband in prison. I want to believe he's not getting the kind of treatment that he should have that he was offered. So for that reason, how possible it is that he got $10,000, his wife got $10,000, went to the police inspector, not even said the prison guard commander to say, "Oh yeah, I gave the 10,000 so I can have some protection in prison here," but went to the police director of the Republic of Liberia. Okay, so the whole thing was a setup, and then she's at Prince C. Johnson office. Then call this guy. Prince called this fellow now who received the 10,000. Receiving the 10,000, going to Prince Johnson office. Okay, he's in a happy mood. The director for national security called him. When he got there, his whole article is calling to one or two news media that I've been listening to since I came from work. her whole image changed. So that should tell you that it was a setup.
No,
Yeah.
Mark, it was not a setup. The Jones security did their homework. They sent for the woman. She didn't go to them. They sent for her. After they got a tip of that, she have given 10,000. They sent for her. And when they sent for her, that's when they ordered this guy who received the money to appear, unknown that this woman was there. So you see,
Yeah, I said unknowing. I said
yeah.
unknowing, but
No, he
I have
said
not
that
gone
she
in.
went. She went to
Yeah,
bring
I
John.
said went
John
there
sent,
because
yeah.
yeah. Thank you for the
Okay,
correction.
but whatever the
But
case is,
but
whatever the
but
case is,
but
it
because
wasn't for me. It wasn't a setup. Like Paul said, it wasn't a setup because this thing has been going on. Most people have been giving money and probably get preferential treatment at the jail or wherever they are. So when this lady or when these guys pay that money, maybe because of the public pressure, the suspects were not getting the treatment that they paid for. And so this lady got concerned, or they got concerned, and the lady said, but the people can eat up because they can have money, you know, that free money. They can eat it, you can't go anywhere. So the lady said, well, before they eat the money free, let's make it big. Because the people are already in prison. You can't put them in prison 2 times. So she and then maybe somebody got a tip off, and that's how they got the NSA got the information. But the question I want to ask is, or the thing I want us all to think about is, do you think this thing is new? That they're gonna scenario where people get preferential treatment? Because remember, Finabono was reprimanded in court, in jail, and the next day she was out, and Samuel Tue got a verdict, and that verdict was overturned for jury tampering and all this kind of thing. That's small things been happening. Some people commit crime, when you go low, nothing happened. The guy who allegedly from the youth ministry, who allegedly raped the little girl, allegedly now, and the case just went like that. They see police RG were calling for video footage and all the kind of. So I think it's a usual thing that happened, and that's why this group that is presently in jail try to follow the trend to see, okay, yeah, people can get money and something happening, so let's pay out no money and see whether they will have this treatment for us. And then nothing was happening because of the public pressure and the new scheme. I'm just thinking, wow, I don't know what you guys think.
But Linford, Brother Mark, before you come in, let me just add what Linford just said. You remember the guys that sodomized the 15-year-old boy? He was arrested, sent to what? Central Prison. 2 days later, they saw him walking on Getty Street with few other people. So you see, and he come from a security background.
Yeah.
So you see, if this happened, maybe because of the drug situation, where the $10,000 came from, this is drugs money that they want brought in for this guy to get the same kind of service the other people have been receiving. So the guy who sodomized the 15-year-old boy, this happened long time ago. He have not appeared in court yet for it to be a trial on this issue. That thing is almost a death penalty if it happened in Liberia. But this guy, we don't know whether he's still in prison or he's somewhere else. You don't hear about it anymore. So this is a situation now because this drugs issue, it has gone bigger than anything in Liberia. So people now, if you want to bribe your way through, you have to be careful because the whole nation is talking about it. And this is a situation that this young man picture you get pulled out, they receive the money, they are going to do the same old thing, and then it backfire.
So in other words, it's not something new.
It's not something new.
Yeah, what you see in Liberia is that there is no discipline when it comes to the management system from those that are managing the affairs of the government. There's no discipline, even as far as the presidential level. There is no discipline. So for that reason, you find all these different appointees they misbehaving. Just check the head, the surrounding of the president himself, the way he behaved. So coming down to his lieutenants, there's no discipline from one administration to another. Because had there been discipline, they will manage whatsoever criminal case very carefully, not to bring embarrassment to the administration. But instead, look, if these guys can go as low as receiving 10,000 US dollar, then what you think that is happening now with, on this show, we were the first to say that the drugs, for example, is unrefined. It could be into the $400 million or up to $1 billion, because once it's refined, then you get other substance from this particular stuff. So you're looking at something up to $1 billion. But what I want to say is that
it is refined.
It is possible that people, wherever
the drugs is refined. So it's Liberia don't have what we call, they only have the warehouse to store it. It came in refined. So Liberia now become the distribution center of what they brought in. So the thing about the government here, the quantity
has it been confirmed that
it is confirmed
refined?
Because it is refined. That's why Ronnie Sear was able to give the value.
Yeah, the street
value. But Brother Paul, one thing I want to say that unrefined cocaine also can give street value.
Yeah, so I'm saying this is refined already.
That's why I'm being that's why I'm being technical
already with the street value of
guys, that's why I say Gregory Coleman blunder in this whole thing, because the first thing they should have done gave the street value, if it is up, because this particular terminology I'm basing on description as to the street, how do you call it, refined and unrefined, because had he told us that this thing is unrefined or it is refined and the street value is something that I've not heard. So that way I'm technical about.
I think from the onset, after the arrest, when they took it to the police station, journalists were trying to know the value, but he told them,
they were based on the value.
Yeah, we're going to weigh it.
So Mark, these guys shipping drugs from Liberia, it's not going to Europe for them to refine it in Europe. When you get a euro, it's time for the consumer to use it.
Right away.
So it's already refined. So it's always way already.
But God, let me ask one question. Okay. We all saw the quantity. I'm sorry, I don't have that picture available now. We all saw the quantity of drugs that we're talking about. Now listen, if you compare that quantity compared to the 19.12 million, not that much. The 19.12.
Yeah, Linford, I was going somewhere and Brother Paul interrupted me. So if the guys can go as low as to receiving $10,000, then these guys, they have in their possession almost $1 billion how they call it, cocaine in their possession. It's like the police. So it's like now the rat money breads that in a warehouse, or you leaving oil to roaches that the oil is not being monitored. So it is possible that these guys are stealing some of this.
And very important point Prince is raising here. Because when I read the story, the particular story that I put a picture of here, Gregor Kuma is saying that the street value of the drug will be around 317 million. Then the Justice Minister said another figure, 370 million. Then
exactly.
Then Gregor Kuma also in that same story said, the actual value, if it is so, not in the street, but the actual value will be what 400
million.
Yeah, 400
exactly.
million. So the question here is, I mean, so the drugs are already refined. That's not the point. But the point I wanted to ask and Mark called me to point to other was looking at the quantity of these drugs, guys. I mean, let's put on our thinking cap. Hey man, where would such a quantity of drugs pass through our border or any elsewhere? How did it come in bit and pieces or in a huge consignment or in a container? Because they think it's not like people carrying it traveling suitcases like what happened I mean with the 19.12 or 2 million or whatever it was. This one is huge. You saw all the parcels. And so no nobody can tell me that these people were bringing this in and one person not even see it, whether they came through the border or how they came.
Linford, I can
This
tell
thing,
you, I
for me,
can
I
tell you
think
for fact.
it's growing in Liberia.
The-
This thing is growing in
no,
Liberia.
no. I can tell you for fact this thing came by sea. This is what I can tell you for fact. It came by sea. These guys, they had this small submarine that transport these things, and they are on deep water that people don't see them. And by night, they got this small boat or this small canoe with this machine on it, go to the submarine and how they call it, unload, and then
Yeah, but
take to the warehouse. It's
that's a belief that
Liberia
has to
is
be applied because
You're
you don't
making
have
the thing so interesting, summary. We don't have Coast Guard. First place. That's
no.
the,
I'm
the
not
thing
talking
is,
about Liberia. I'm talking about the trafficker.
No, but
yeah,
we're talking
but
about
This
he
Liberia
have
now.
a
Liberia
high
stage.
enter Liberia. That's the
Yeah, that's
one
what
Yeah,
we're
Lincoln
talking
but
is
this
about.
is what I'm explaining to from my own investigation and the conclusion I've come up with, because this thing it's not coming through the Ivory Coast. No, it's not coming through Guinea. No, but this thing is being
What about Sierra Leone?
come to Liberia, not from even Sierra Leone. It come to Liberia directly from one of our coastal land. These guys, they got the little submarine, for example, like the one that Trump is blowing up. The transport, this thing, the documentary on it. If you go to, I think is the CIA website, or how they call this, the Al Jazeera, how the guys they do the transporting from Colombia, from how they or say from Brazil, and from other South American country, even from as far as Asia. We're talking about South America, Thailand, Burma, Cambodia. These are areas that people produce huge quantity, and there are different kinds of cocaine. So the police, even today, they are not able to tell the Liberian people, okay, this cocaine is how they call it, Colombian, or this is Taiwan, or this is how they call it, Cambodian, or they are not told the Liberian people.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
I
so
mean,
the
investigation is
why you
cool.
making it? Why you making a thing to sound so? Liberia don't have any machine to detect where it come from. And making it thing to sound like that. That they're not telling people. They think
No, yeah,
came
yeah.
from
Mark is looking at why he sees
yeah, from
happening
Liberia don't
elsewhere.
have,
No, listen,
Yeah, but
I am
this is the
telling you,
administrative part I'm talking about, Brother
this
Ford.
but they don't
this
So that
have
thing
the
means
man. That's the point. They
so that
don't
means
have the
this thing could be
we are not
grown in
investing
Liberia.
in
This thing could be
position.
produced in Liberia. Trust me,
no.
this thing
It
could be
cannot grow
produced in
in
Liberia.
Liberia. It
Cocaine,
can't
in
grow
order for
in
you to
Liberia.
produce this stuff, you must have a very huge cocoa farm.
Yeah.
Not the cocoa that produce coffee, but you must have a very huge cocoa farm in order for
Uh,
you to produce this kind of quantity. And
you talk
I
about
could agree
cartel.
with Linford too, but I mean, our forests, we
This
know
is a
the
cartel.
dense forest
No,
that we have in
gentlemen,
Liberia. So,
gentlemen,
who knows?
gentlemen. Linford asked a question. How did it enter? The thing simple. As long as the government, big hands in the government, that is a piece of cake for it to enter. It does not require rocket science. Big hands in it. Look at the whole national police now being compromised. The whole security sector being compromised. Why the DEA has been silent? They are the drugs enforcer. So just tell you the security apparatus compromised. It's easy to enter Liberia because the security services have been compromised. That's the bottom line of the whole thing.
And
If they were not
and basically,
compromised, then when Mark said it will come through submarine in a way to smoke it in, but in the situation with Liberia, the security sector, somebody on
you
150,
you don't even need a sophisticated submarine team.
yeah,
One
that's
container
all.
contract
Somebody
with a
on
port.
$150 a month, that's a salary.
Yeah.
Tell me something. And this guy bringing over $400 million worth of drugs. They just
Yeah,
gave
but
you
let,
two
let us,
thousand. I
yeah,
gave
but
you
let-
I
yeah,
gave you
let-
I gave you a scenario left, a real scenario here that you get a man $10,000. That's plenty of money for somebody to allow such thing. We have seen it over and over
Yeah, but you
before.
see the whole police actually taking 10,000.
yeah, that
Exactly.
make him very cheap, Linford. You got something in your possession that is up to street value of 500 million, and you receiving $10,000. You very cheap, and that's one of the reasons I'll be very angry.
My man, they say
If I were advising the
the
president
the
that he
bird
should be
the bird
sacked,
in the hand is better than the 1,000 that in the air.
yeah, I would advise the president immediately that he should be sacked. Yeah.
Okay, so uh, so Maha concluded that because the bigger question we asked was whether Gregory should be sacked. So Paul, with all of this, what we have explained and brainstorming on, will you still recommend that Gregory go?
He should have been fired a long time. Because
So
look, the thing is, Gregor cannot be sacked now. There is the big rope somewhere. When you sack Gregory Coleman, he will have to be investigated. And then we all been seeing the thing. Are some big hand behind it? That big hand that been protected. That's the reason why they dragging the whole thing slowly. It's just like you dragging it, you dragging it, you dragging it. Look,
But mind you to this fellow that received the 10,000, he knows a lot. Yeah, he's not just somebody
no,
out of a sudden.
no, not only him. There was arrest made. Follow the trend. There was security officer that is behind bar. There were arrests made, and these are people from all security sector here is in it. Now, if from the airport to the taxi driver to the Jones security, all of them part of this whole thing. Then it comes to the guy that come from Sierra Leone, because there are two different entry points we're talking about. The Sierra Leone factor is there. Now the Colombia side is there. So we might have 5 different warehouses in Liberia that people don't know of. So the security people knows. And I can
Yeah, but
tell you,
that's what I'm saying, brother Paul. The first thing it started with these handlers or foot soldiers, and now it going to somebody who has a higher rank in the police that is connected to the police director. So exactly as you're saying, there are big hands that are involved within this stuff. So this guy too, who excuse me, gentlemen, this guy too who has a higher position and connected to the police director, now he has fallen. If you have the national security, very serious about this stuff, names will roll, and then 2, if this guy fall, based on how they handle it, the big names will be called, and they all the if I fall, everybody fall.
so you remember when Mr. Cummings, Ronnie Sear, they all said they want independent investigator. There's a reason behind it. Now, the governor
Exactly.
of Liberia don't have the balls to bring in independent. If you remember when the fire incident took place, the burning of the Capitol building, they were hush hush to bring people from America to say these guys are all firefighters to investigate. Their drugs business been going, it been dragging. So why is it that the government of Liberia cannot call the FBI, the CIA, and say, look, I need you in Liberia because it looked like my security services have been compromised. I want you
Or
to
even the
to
Interpol.
help. And just so because they're dragging their feet, this is the reason behind it. There's a lot of big names in it.
Exactly.
So
Besides
that's why
big
they
name,
keep
brother,
dragging.
boy, the whole drug something, it been from one administration to another. This have been a debacle from one administration to another, from Madam Salif
But
to the George
agree,
and to the
Mark.
Barker administration, and all these people walk free on a
No, but
different
this
police
one,
directors.
Mark, this one, it put them out because we heard about the drug situation on Madam Salif with former Salif and for
Exactly.
1.5 million. We heard that story. On George Weah, the $100 million drugs that were seized, those guys, they let them out. But this one here now is different. What made this one
Madam
different?
Salif was 500 million. It was very
what
huge.
made it one different?
Mm-hmm.
This one, there's a warehouse in Liberia where the drugs is stored. That's the one that one came in while going through transit, but this one is settled. They built a hub. Liberia now that's what the North State will go into. They get a warehouse where they store these drugs in. So Liberia is now sitting down. The Colombian people that were they caught on in the process, they know how to package it and send it overseas. So Liberia is the distribution center of the drug business. So because of that, Liberia is in a hot seat. That's why you see this talking is all going here and there because Colombia involved. And when Colombia involved, guess what happened? Remember, the drugs will start fighting each other.
Okay, guys.
This is where Liberia going to be in a serious mess.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So while we talk, like we always say, the drug issue is a developing story. The suspects have been taken to jail. But there is something interesting about the suspect, and what we've been talking about the money issue, where the money was provided for comfort in jail, and you will see this video. I will just show this small part where the two foreign suspects, they place them in the front cabin of the pickup, but the other Liberian people that are associated with them, they all dump them to the back.
Put it in the back.
Yeah, and somebody say so. just for the phone, of this. So let's see the video, and hey, Liberia, what would do? God, what would do? Liberia, God. Okay,
God didn't do anything to Liberia.
But then why? Why? Tell me. Okay, so guys, here's a video, right? Let me see what is added. Okay, yeah. So let's roll it and you listen.
Whenever you're watching this live broadcast, this is the person I remember, Mine Togan. As you see, additional 4 suspects are on board this vehicle heading towards the Moraga Center prison. Whenever you're watching this live broadcast, keep sharing. The U.S. $370 million worth of cocaine seizure from the Dwazon area in Margibi County. Suspects have been arrested, being taken to the Moraga Center prison, along with Port Sheriff from the Moraga. That's the Fiji City Corporation. As we see, police officers are on board. This suspect covered his face with mask, in which he cannot be identified. So whenever you're watching this live broadcast, keep sharing. Whenever you're watching this live broadcast,
Yeah, Liberia is a fun country.
It's more than 10 minutes. Now, so you see the little Liberian boys, people who do not even know what cocaine looks like. They arrested them, they stuff them in the bag, but they provide those were the people you were supposed to put to the back so the public can see them, humiliate them. Public
No,
humiliation without beating them, nothing.
I would disagree with you because
Uh-huh.
these guys they are high suspect. So those boys that were in the back of the pickup, they are just foot soldiers. So, for example, in some countries, you got to provide very high protection for the guys, even to carry, for example, if they had these vans that were bulletproof, because these guys could be taken out. So for that reason, you have to give them that kind of protection because they are the prime suspect for this stuff. And the Liberian boys,
So
they are
then why
just
are we
handler of
frowning?
foot
Why would
soldiers.
we be frowning on the police RG and his deputy for allegedly receiving money to get, because these are some of the preferential
No,
treatment
but
that
there
we're
are two
talking about.
different things you're talking about,
No, they're not two
Linford.
different things. No, prisoners are prisoners, my friend. If you commit crime and you are prisoner, you are prisoner. In America, they carry all prisoners the same way. They don't have special preferential treatment for anybody and say, okay, this man is a foreigner. He's no, especially in that case.
I'm not saying foreigner,
Nobody
Linford.
threat to them. Nobody gave
these
them the
these
same
these,
public
these
humiliation.
Liberian boys, these Liberian boys, they got no direct connection with the production of this cocaine from
But then
where
the
it
people who
comes
get
from.
direct connection for keep bringing it, they should be humiliated most. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, Linford, we're talking about security here in the sense that these guys, you put them in the back, this pickup is not protected. These guys could jump and commit suicide and kill themselves. So
Yeah,
for that
finish.
reason, you got to
Nobody killed them.
provide them
Everybody
the
see that. Nobody killed them. It'll be public
Linford.
there.
You
Yeah, you see,
talking from
the thing is,
different. You're
it's
talking from
I
different
understand why you're
backgrounds,
talking,
not coming
but
from
it can
security.
no, it's no, I don't know, but when you are prisoner, you are prisoner. They will not put you in one air conditioner car and say, oh, because he did so that. When they went to when America went to grab Mondoro, what they did, they had him brief. They brought him. They didn't say he president, so you put on him. Okay, so give them the same public humiliation. They have police officers there, put them on the floor of the pickup, and you'll stay around them. Okay, so you still carrying them to jail anyway.
Do you know that
So
Maduro, even the prison that Maduro is in, he got a VIP protection in the sense
yeah, but
that
okay, why they brought
his
him naked? No,
yeah, bringing him naked, and the security apparatus around him. Did you see it? Those were
but the same way
high,
we
very
got our
high
police officers. But
trained.
let us not argue on that. It was
Yeah,
just my own
Linford,
view.
let's
It was
go
just
to
my own
the
view.
because
So,
we try to
Paul, what do
divert
you think?
the.
Liberia is not a normal country, so anything from Liberia until Liberia become normal country, then we see normal things. Liberia not a normal country. And I said it on the program. Liberia problem, you say, well, God have done nothing to Liberia. Liberia problem is Liberians. Could you imagine a country called Liberia if you take the population of the Gambia compared to Liberia doctor degrees and master degrees holder in Liberia, more than the population of the Gambia. But still, we don't have what we call common sense to run Liberia properly. So Liberia problem is just a bigger problem. That's the bottom line of it. That we can just talk, but to where common sense supposed to be prevail, it never happened. This is Liberia. Look, why am I saying this? Our founding fathers, what they did, and most people don't pay attention to it, that when they came to build Liberia, local Monrovia, Grand Bassa County, Buchanan, go into City, Maryland County, go to Harper, Cape May. You saw the way they structure Monserrato. In the middle of the structure, they had cemetery, they had little park, they had housing layout. Since they built that city, the generation after them should have advanced by doing something else, but it never happened. We get all our PhD, our master degree, but where common sense supposed to prevail, it never. So Liberia is not a normal country. So country where it's not normal, you can't get anything, you can't make any sense of the country not normal. And this is what a Nigerian pastor, which I all refer to, although I don't let to hear it, he said Liberia is confused. The president confused, the people confused, the whole country confused. The drug business now confused the whole country again. So we are confused people. And that's the bottom line. Until Liberia start being confused, we'll get things right. My
And
brother,
guess
let's
what?
flow.
The 370 million drug will kill the 19.2 million case. That 19.2 million case by gone. I was just reading just now that they arrested one guy from the head of LACE, the LACE. I don't know what that acronym stands for. He was believed to be part of the facilitators. So you see, people from the government, their hands are in all these things.
That's what
And
I'm saying.
how can you have fair, fight against drugs when people who supposed to be? I mean, the other case about the 10,000 alone, it fools my mouth because I mean, as low as 10,000 that you dealing with drug case. I'm not encouraging that anybody should take any amount though, but if I was to compromise myself in such a case, that 370 million, no, I'm getting maybe 100 million at least because I know if I'm caught, I will bear the punishment. But for 10,000 that even poor boy like me I can handle, eh? I mean, I just don't understand.
Linford, let me hold you. If you in Liberia, you own $75 and $50 or $100 a month. Somebody gave you $10,000. You know how the 10,000 it will look like $1 million to you. I mean, this is the fact. It will look like $1 million to you.
But Paul, the people you're talking about are involved in the hierarchy of the police. These are people that earn good salaries. So it's not just
What is Gregory Coleman's salary? Do you know?
Yeah, as a police director, I think he made between $5,000 to $7,000 a month.
Okay. And now the guy who sitting now at the border area, the immigration, that group, they own $150, $75 a month. And somebody come and give them 10,000 each. My brother, that 10,000, you know how it look
agree.
like?
No, I think the same Mark is saying.
No, but what
You got
I'm
the guy, the
confused
common
when
guy
you try.
making $150
Yes.
with no position, nothing, and he's
Yeah.
just doing what?
Exactly.
I can understand.
That
But
one I
that
can
you-
understand.
yeah,
But the
you
people
are
we're talking
commission officer. In
about,
fact, you are
these
the
are
head.
are the
You are the
head.
head of the whole system.
So,
And then you receiving that amount. So I
Guys,
mean,
should we
But-
move on to the next
but
topic because time is.
yeah, let me conclude on this. That money, the 10,000, was the core water to protect my guy in there. That's
yeah, she
all.
didn't sleep on the floor.
Exactly. That's the core water to protect
Yeah,
my
when you
guy.
carrying it to jail, let them ride the front seat of the
Yeah.
pickup.
And when it reached to the judge, that's where the millions will be spent. In the case of the $100 million case that will let people out, you know how many millions were given? You don't know. The whole system, the judges or the police or the security apparatus, up to executive chiefs, they all involved with drugs business. Liberia in serious trouble. Let's move on.
Okay, so guys, on the next topic we'll be on is with all of what we're saying. Then the biggest question comes is Liberia and Liberians safe under this particular administration. All of what we're watching, tell me, do you think we are safe? What is our future? Every day they wake up, if they not draw, in fact, they draw that they arrested. They also show arms, and we do know at least I saw one handgun. So we don't know how many of them were there. So with all these things that people bringing in drug, they bringing in guns. The guns can fire, we hear the sound, but the drug are silent weapon. They've been killing people and will continue to kill people. And trust me, like I was saying previously, that you can't give the rat the bread, you put cheese inside and you tell the rat to mind it, and the rat will touch it. So they drug in the possession of the police. I'm not saying the police will take it, but okay, the trace will not be completely clear. With all these things, where are we going? What is our future? Are we safe under this government? I mean, briefly,
Let me start. If Liberia is safe under this administration, the answer is no. What am I saying? No. Under George Weah administration, we heard about Kuch, that the Unity Party campaign on that. On their stewardship, Liberia will be drugs free. And beginning when President Barker took office, he did a drugs test to prove to the nation that under his administration, there'll be drugs free. That means the kids will no more suffer for drugs. They are going to do X, Y, Z. But under his administration, we have seen warehouses of cocaine. We have seen cocaine taken out of Liberia. We have seen our children falling and dying. So the promise he made to save our children from taking drugs, it have increased. So our children now safe in Liberia, the people now safe because when people take drugs, and the thing about drugs, when you take in a cocaine or heroin, your brain will always be craving for it. And if you cannot get it, you'll go do something crazy to steal from people. And stealing from people, in the process, you may end up harming people. So not only those that take it, but the people who are not taking it, they also are victims. So on that line, our people not safe. Then the issue is, under Joseph Newman Barker, Guinea invaded Liberia. Today, we don't know the outcome. So we are not safe. The country is not safe under this administration. He took the oath to protect the people of Liberia. We're not seeing it. So Liberia is not safe.
Before Mark comes in, on the same question, whether we are safe or not, but somebody will argue, somebody who supports Barker and the Unity Party government will argue and say, what are you talking about? We're not safe when the government is fighting the drugs and even arresting it.
The drug issue, the government is not fighting it. They pretend they're not fighting. Because from the beginning, when this drug business, the $19 million drugs that were caught on the airport, you saw how the government was playing tic-tac-toe with it. They were not serious. Until journalists started mounting pressure on the government. And let's give credit to Ronnie Sear and Standard Witherspoon by singing this song every day. That's why the government started being, okay, we'll do something. They were not keen on it. That's the point. If they were serious from that day, but now, the people that were arrested, we should see them handcuffed, they go to court by this time because drugs is a bad thing. And the judges now, there should be a verdict on them, whether you send them to prison for left or something. We have not seen it. They keep dragging their feet. So the country is not safe.
Okay, Mike, give your input and then I'll ask one last question that will seal that drug topic for tonight.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not just this drugs issue that put the whole country at risk. You look for, let's go back, for example, from the Madam Sally's time. Liberia has been an open country for people to come and settle in and carry all kind of clandestine act in Liberia without, how they call this, accountability. So, for example, you got a huge population of illegal migrants in Liberia, for example, 150,000. That's the one that have been documented through pressure. You got 150,000 men, not women, not with children, but 150,000 men to cross your border and stay in your country. And then two, you cannot implement the requisite that in order for a man to stay in your country permanently, he must have a job, he must meet the immigration criteria. And then you just there and sleeping like someone on the couch that the children taking. And then you come to the WIA administration, the drugs are king in the country, $100 million, and how they call it, the guys, they get walk scot-free, And what happened to that $100 million drugs today? They can't, Liberian people had not been told what happened to that $100 million drugs today. Okay? Then you come to this particular group again, another drugs again in the country. There are a couple of warehouses in the country, like you guys said, and Liberia is the country is actually in a mess. And in order for you to clean that country, you have a leader who must put money and build institutions, because that should be his number one priority about building institutions in Liberia. Because once you build institutions, then you have what you call performance by different institutions in the government, and you have a performance, how they call this, a calendar, a yearly report as to how the other institutions performed this year and how they performed last year and what they need to do in order for them to have a good performance the next following year. These things are not happening from one government to another. So Liberia is not safe, Linford. Liberia is not safe. Yeah. Linford, you mute.
Let me just put this question
Okay,
on, then I'll
now.
ask the question that I want to ask, and I think by that time Paul will be out. Alfonso Taylor is saying it is very unfair to say that the government lacks the technical capacity and adequate resources in all areas to conclusively say that the government is not fighting drugs issue is not factual. Well,
Yeah,
I think
that
Alfonso
he referring to the statement that
the
Paul
statement
made.
Paul made. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
statement Paul made.
honestly speaking, what brought the pressure to this government for which they have taken some action? I will give it also to the government, like Alfonso said. It, the pressure comes from, for example, like Paul said, the network, the biggest network in the country, which is the Spoon Network, and you got the SKTV and you got the OKFM. Yeah, these are three big networks in the country. But don't forget, one of the main politicians and the big names in the country, for example, when Alexander Cummings spoke, even though the Stanton Water Spoon Network, the Spoon, which is the Spoon Network, they all been talking, and Renaissance only came up later with the story, and they all tried to mount pressure. But when Mr. Cummings spoke and said that he will work with international partners in bringing people and other Liberian operative or in the security arena to get involved. That also was a wake-up call to the government, because Alexander Cummings is not a small name, and he has the connection to meet people in the MI6, the MI5, the Interpol, and the, how they call it, DEA in America, and you name it. He has the contact. He don't have to be directly connected with security operative in these different areas, but he can reach out to people that have the direct connection, and some of them being directing these institutions. So the government was afraid in this manner, and decided to take the next action to get involved. But then people are still being protected from you, as you heard. There's a senator's son who is involved, and there is other person who is in the executive branch also. One of the higher person, what you call the librarian, say high up in the executive branch, could be advisor to the president, could be XYZ, for which they are dragging their feet. So a lot of big names are involved. And this thing is not just from this administration, from one administration to another. So
Okay,
our whole
okay,
security apparatus is weak.
okay.
The judicial
Joma
system
Jala,
is weak.
Joma Jala, who is an ardent supporter of the Unity Party, is saying that it doesn't matter because simply because he call his name. When you say that it doesn't matter where the pressure comes from, uh, the fact is that the government is fighting the drugs. Okay, fine. Giving your statement, I agree. It doesn't matter. Even me, yeah, we are putting pressure. While we're talking, we are also putting pressure. If it falls on good ears, fine. They
Look,
will ask. But
look,
let me ask
look.
this question. This the final question.
Linford, let me say something quickly. I saw where Alfonso wrote.
Mhm.
You see how many weeks it took for the guy that they call Paul, what is his name, Paul King or something.
Paul King or Sonny King.
Paul,
Yeah,
yeah,
Paul King.
he came from
Paul
America.
King, the Emmanuel
Yeah.
Brown.
How long it took before they arrested him? So if he's serious of fighting something, I just gave him the scenario here that we say the government fighting. Pressure must be on the government before they act. I mean, they're not serious. If you're fighting something, the moment the story broke, this guy called said there was a call made. Somebody took the cocaine to his house. He gave them full description of the situation. The government dragged their feet for almost 3 weeks. Then how serious is you fighting something that you say you're fighting? It can be pressure from social media, from political leader before you start arresting them. I mean, you're not serious. That's the point I'm coming from. Now the government trying to show something. It had to be
Okay,
pressure from somebody. You
for
fighting
me,
something, somebody got to pressure you.
yeah, for me, Juma Jala, I'll also say, and welcome to the show, Juma. This is the first time. This is the Bottomline Liberia discussions. We are Liberian, European-based platform. We are here every Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you can join us all the time. All the days I mentioned, we are here at 9 o'clock Central European time, which is 7 o'clock Liberian time, and then you are in the US, so you can do the time setting and know
You see,
when we
you
are
see,
here.
you
So
see,
it's
this
Tuesday,
is the
Friday. Yeah, I mean flight.
this
It's Tuesday, Friday.
these are some of the reason that
Yeah, but I'm saying doing
they.
something, Mark.
Yeah, go
So
ahead, Liver.
yeah, so you can join us at anytime and welcome to the Borderline Liberia discussions. Yeah, Mark, go ahead, and I still have to ask a question, but just
Yeah,
make it short so that I don't
go
ask.
ahead with your question.
Okay, the question is, with all of what we have been seeing, I remember when I was a little boy, the Tower era, we had zero tolerance for killing. When you kill, they will kill you. We
Yeah.
saw the hanging of Obia, the Nigerian guy. We saw the hanging of the Yancey, Allen Yancey, and all the guys from Maryland County with that lady, I was in a barrack. It was small, but we still went there. Okay, so all these things, and it kind of tried to deter the murder rate, the willful murder rate in Liberia. And the reason I'm saying this is that capital punishment for certain crimes can help to lower it. Okay, in Asia, certain countries in Asia, like Thailand, for example, if you are caught with drugs, my friend, especially if you are foreign national, nobody will investigate you for long. You get quick investigation and you are gone. Sometimes they throw the guy from 10-story building straight to the sidewalk. The body laying down there, you gotta go. Nobody going to ask about it. But
Yeah,
so
but
my question
Thailand
is
is
this.
one of the high producer of cocaine, Liver. I
Yeah, but
can
that's
tell you
what
that.
that's what they do. And
Yeah,
if you go
they're one of the high
to
producer
to
of
my
that
own
particular.
Asian country where my
Yeah,
family come from, in Philippines, we see Duterte is sitting in the jail, and this guy had to literally engage the drug people in the street where they were killing people every day, hundreds of people every day. And if you go to the Philippines now, yes, they are doing drugs, but it's not like it used to be before. But the question is, should Liberia or sadly go back to zero tolerance? We have not had this on drugs before because drugs was not prevalent in Liberia those days. So, but since drugs is becoming prevalent, should Liberia adapt the zero tolerance for drugs? That if you are caught with drugs and investigated and found guilty, they should pass the death penalty. Let's just think loud. We're not saying it should happen, but what should that happen? And if that happens, you think it's going to curtail this drug thing because it's getting rampant. I mean, how in the hell you have a whole warehouse full of drugs for one country, Eh?
Yeah,
Even
but
in Colombia, I think
for the
where
or
they
you
producing this thing, you can't have
you
that kind of big
can
warehouse.
you brought about the non-bailable offense for drugs, and here you are, you cannot not maintain a system. Then how are you going to implement the capital punishment stuff that you're talking about, Linford?
Well, I think Linford just asking that whether the government should do something on harsh punishment also that will deter these people from coming to Liberia. Because
Yeah,
the
but
thing is,
the same people that the people
as
are
what you
involved, Brother Paul,
yeah, but as
the
what you
government
said,
official.
it started from the Charles Taylor time. It came to the ending, the George Weah, now Joseph Barker. So the drugs
Yeah.
incident being around, being affecting our people. So therefore, ask a question that should they look at zero tolerance? And I could say yes, in a way, it shouldn't be by death, but you know what Singapore have the thing if you throw or chewing gum or something on the street that you'll be publicly latched. If you have that situation that if
No,
somebody
they
is
don't
called,
latch. They don't
listen,
latch you in Singapore. No.
they used to be, they work for American in Singapore. I remember this story. Even Bill Clinton time, he went there to plead for this young man. They still carry all that punishment. Check it out. So why am I saying this? If somebody, if they could pass a law in Liberia that if someone is caught and found guilty, that left imprisonment, and then to show the public that every Saturday this person would be taken on Broad Street or in Harbour or somewhere, one of the big city, that you be publicly latched, 25 latches for bringing drugs in the country. That should be the kind of punishment these people should have. That would be my, if I were in the house, those are the things that kind of bill will be pushing. There must be some set of punishment for them. Because look, if you go to Liberia, young people take drugs, they're standing or sleeping and they drop and die. It's killing our children. So something must be done. And that's the point.
Good, Paul. Mark, do you agree or not? Or any, do you can you recommend any other punishment? Capital.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to the trafficking of drugs, I will go for the highest deterrence of bringing drugs into the country. I would recommend two kinds of punishment based on the quantity of drugs that you found with. It would be 25 years imprisonment lease, and then up to 50 years. How they call this? Highest. Then, if it comes to another quantity, for example, kilograms or how they call this XYZ, then you have I will have to recommend the capital punishment. Yeah, because you are destroying lives. You are destroying lives also with the drugs that you bring in the country. You're destroying the human resource capital of the country. And two, I'm going to go after you to implement that capital punishment because of the human resource capital you are destroying of the country.
So Mark, if
Yeah.
you heard that this Musa Bedete's son was caught with drugs, he stayed behind bars. Somebody called with marijuana.
Now
They saying
you are caught with gun and drugs.
somebody called somebody with marijuana. They sent it to South Beach, and it's still there. No court case, but it's still waiting for the trial. And these guys that come in with whole ship warehouse that they come and the judges let them walk or the $100 million, they just walk out of Liberia. Now you have another group of people that come. These are the people you're supposed to set example on. Not even say the quantity. The fact is that you brave enough to bring drugs in the country. You must bear what are that small quantity, huge quantity. You must bear the weight of the law. That if you are caught with small bag of this thing that you bring it to harm somebody child, you will go to jail for in Thailand are death, but in Liberia you go to jail for life, and that life will based on your age. If you're 50 years old, they gave you 50 years in jail. That means that life imprisonment. Like what they do with Charles Taylor when he 50, the judges say, "Oh, you're going to jail for 50 years." And we all know that 50 years are left imprisonment. That's why it will stop people that, oh, if I go to Liberia with small quantity, I'm going to go to jail for life. I'm not trying it. There must be some sort of punishment that will stop these people from doing it.
Yeah, we are all saying the same kind of suggestion, but in different ways. But there must be some sort of deterrence. But how do you implement these deterrence when you got people in the legislature, they are involved, when you got people in the executive branch that are involved, and not just ordinary people in the executive branch or the legislature, for example. You have a senator's son who was involved with the drugs business and $100 million drugs. You have former president, it was alleged said that Cham Weah was involved. He had connection with the two people allegedly, okay, for which these two people they walk free. Were there some threats that were made for which they were let go, and then to go back to Madame Salif too, where one of the Salifs were involved too with the billions of dollars or drugs that came in the country. So this thing it connect from one president to another, from one president to another. It tell you that our whole security apparatus is in a mess. Yeah, until you got somebody new
But brother
that will come up to clean it up. Yeah.
The president took drug tests to tell the Liberians that he was going to fight drugs. Do you know the executive can submit a bill to the House that bill they can pass it into law if he came to fight drugs? So what's the difficulties in the thing that the executive could pass a bill, say, look, for this is zero tolerance. Anyone called who want you to go and debate this bill, they will debate that bill, have a time limit on it, and they will submit it and pass it into law. It can be done easily.
Yeah,
But guys,
but
we
that's
have
why I
we have
said, brother
we,
Paul.
yeah,
Yeah, but
we
that's
have
why I
spent
said they are not serious.
we have
Yeah.
spent
So that
Mr.
bring hold on, Linford. That's bring me to the point when I said the government is not fighting drugs. I see Brother Jomo Jala saying no, they're fighting drugs. This is the point I'm making from the start when I said it, that the government is not serious. If the government is serious to fight something, that is the hash up bill they will come up with, like what Ellen did. If anyone rape anybody child, they would not, the moment they hear it, they will say sorry before you even start something. If you're fighting something, you gotta show action. But you cannot say you take drug test, then you show it action, then the people say you're fighting it. I mean,
guys,
for Christ's
I will
sake.
tell you the actual meaning of fighting crime. I just had an example from Philippines, where my family come from. I am telling you, I used to go to that country 2 times every year, and you be walking the street, see the drug guy, people will kind of tap my shoulder. Hey, American, you want something like that? That's how prevalent it was. When Duterte took over, the guy,
Exactly.
he literally declared war. I mean, where they were killing, it was sad. They would wipe our whole family. It was sad, but you got to start
For
from
me,
somewhere, somehow.
it was so regrettable that Duterte cleaning up his country, people were destroying the human resource capital in Philippines, which is a country also
Yeah,
a
but
lot of
this is the
friends that come
unfairness. This
from,
is the
and
unfairness of the
and
superpowers.
he
This is
was
the unfairness of the superpowers towards the
pick up
smaller countries.
just like that, and then two, lympho, then you had Donald Trump killing people on a high seat. So what's the difference here?
Yeah, that's what I
See
said.
the
The unfairness of the
hypocrisy,
superpowers, the
double
unfairness
standard.
of the powers of the power that be to the non-powerful. So you see, if we Africans or foreigners that come to Europe, it will do this, they can easily suppress us because we are destroying our citizens. But they can also come to our country when we try to curtail some similar thing that happen in our country. They say, "Oh, that human rights abuse." But let me get let me get my own final cut on that. I ask a question because I know that if you institute vigorous punitive actions against the drugs, the users, and the importers, you will curtail it. You will not finish it, but you will lower it. Let me tell you, these guys get a guts to bring whole warehouse, and they get arrested 19.2 million. The week not even finished. Then we discover who told you that there are not more warehouses in Liberia. Somebody still
Exactly.
being undiscovered. So if I'm one person, I don't even kill fly. You know, the flies come in someone when I try to kill them. I tell my children, say, I'm knocking it. I mean, I'm beating the fly. Don't tell them I'm killing it because it sounds bad to say you're killing. But if somebody can bring something to kill your citizens willingly, your citizens who not sick, nothing wrong with them, somebody feed them something to die. My friend, that person is that important more than your when I was a Christian, I used to feel that kind of way guilty. That oh, the man kill, wait, that God, no God there. You are your own God. So if the man kill you, you able to kill him, you kill him. Because if you kill him, he will kill you.
The video, let me
Why
tell you
you waiting for
something.
God?
Yeah.
But I would recommend that if government will institute punishment, real capital punishment, the importers and their facilitators, when
Exactly.
you are caught, and it is proven beyond all reasonable doubt that the government could even, for the government to be on the safe side, could even bring international people who are not in the government to judge you, and you confess that you did this, my friend, goodbye.
My friend, what judgment should I carry on when you are in an apartment with room full of drugs? Then what should I go investigate?
No,
That
everybody is entitled. No,
that
we
you
will
are in
practice
coma, that you are
we
in
will
coma when the drugs
we
when
will
somebody.
practice the judicial system. That is, everybody is guilty until proven innocent. Okay, you see, Duterte, I was just talking about Duterte. Duterte was trying to clean your country, but the way you're doing this now, when they suspect drug in, like in the hot, you can everybody they read them. So without proper judgment. So to get that judgment and to convince the international community, you tell them to bring their own people to the judge's presence, but you would have done your own investigation and make sure that you got proof. Okay, when they are found guilty, goodbye. Then the vendors, the street vendors, people who can buy and sell it, they are merely, they may be merely Liberian citizens. Their punishment should be the one that are going to jail for 20 years, 25
No,
years.
but
But
one of the reasons that the people will pick
and
up,
fly, please.
yeah,
Jailing the people, for me, the damn part of it that I see is you jail 100 people. Every morning you got to feed them. Every afternoon you got to feed them. Every evening you got to feed them. Well, like the money that you should be taking to improve your hospital and thing, you feeding somebody who are killing other people, who are bringing in bad substances. So jailing them for a very long time is bad. That's why if you start killing the importers, there will be no user. I can tell you that. Once the importer, he killed 10 of them straight publicly in the street, do it broad daylight, 9 in the morning, 9 in the night, broad daylight. Eh? No, killing are killing. If you're shooting a guy, you die quick. Put a guy through. Then the other people see the blood flashing. I'm not sounding wicked here. I don't want, I don't want to be too graphic. Facebook, please don't block me. But we're talking something serious. If you look at the victims of drugs in our
yeah, then
country
you got to
and all around the
modify the
world.
terminology that you use.
Yeah. But that's why I'm giving disclaimer. You got to, it hurts. It hurts that somebody who was not sick, all of a sudden will just become damaged. Somebody who have families to take care of, somebody who the family were depending on, So if you institute real punishment, the kind of harsh punishment, it may not go on for long. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, you see it will get lower. But the way it started, we started naming from Ellen Johnson, in fact, from Taylor Town, from the Wartown to Ellington, to Georgia to Wakatana, who knows? Commies, Kroma, or Bilete, or whoever becomes president in the next election, under that time too, there will be drugs because the people who doing it, they are still there. You see it? So I think to minimize my language, I think the government, any other government that will come, or this government should institute capital zero tolerance. Capital zero. That means do not do it. If you do it, there is punishment. And Facebook again, let me do a disclaimer. I'm sorry for my diction, like the K word, but it hurts, and we don't want to see this kind of thing happening anywhere around the country. Least our country that is trying to recover from years of war. It's very disheartening. And so I'm sorry for the usage of that word. So, guys, let's go to the next topic. The time is fast.
Linford,
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
guys think? And the president took drug test when he came say you're going for drug. So that drug test was just what Fiamomo to
No, he took
blindfold
it.
the
We saw
people.
it.
Yeah, he took the test down because that's where the zero tolerance should have come from. But seeing if I can take it, this country will be clean of drugs. So why take something and then today now we're in a situation you scared to arrest people? That's my point here. Because if you took drugs and now you want zero tolerance from the day that the cocaine
You
was
got a
caught at
good
the
point.
airport,
You got a
that's the
good point,
point.
Paul.
Yeah,
You got a
but
good point. I think
those are just
Juma Jala should be
political.
the one to be answering that.
Yeah, they were just political. How you call?
Yeah, political maneuvering. Okay, guys, the third thing we'll be looking at is, but again, we have almost said this thing. Is Liberia becoming a distribution center for this stuff here? And should we allow it? Should we sit and see it? What's going on? What can be done?
Yeah, Liberia has become a distribution center.
Hmm.
Uh, we are only talking about Liberia now because we are Liberian. We are directly connected with the country on a daily basis. But other African countries are suffering from a high. He has gone to the level of drugs pandemic. For example, Ghana, one of the countries that is facing a very serious problem that for which Ghanaian in the different community or boroughs, they are taking matters into their own hands by doing the job that the security apparatus is now willing to do. They burn ghettos. They even, how they call this, try to kill, people in the community. That if they found out that you're a drugs dealer or you have a ghetto in the community, they beat you to death. And that is going on in Ghana because Ghana is suffering from that level. And you have the Ivory Coast, you got Sierra Leone, you got Guinea. So our neighboring country too that we have the borders with, for example, the Guinea, Sierra Leone, and the Ivory Coast, they need to strengthen their security apparatus at the border to reinforce it so that drugs doesn't leave like Liberia, how it's entering this country, even though we have this landmark long border with our neighboring countries. So Liberia is a distribution center all the way to the Senegal, to the Gambia. You got the fishing boats also, the Fanti canoe that is very big that can travel from Liberia to the Ivory Coast, that can travel from Liberia to Sierra Leone, that can travel from Liberia as far as Gambia. So we were only thinking, some of us were only thinking about Europe, but this drugs is distributed across the whole of Africa. It's a new market now. African, they were used to this marijuana, but they are going to higher level of different substance. For example, the cocaine, the what you call the kush these children used to take. Now they go into different levels. So Africa is also in a mess, and African leaders have to do more to fighting drugs, even helping Liberia for that matter. If Liberia lack the security apparatus, the ECOWAS, they could come in to say, hey, we discovered that this thing is coming from your end. So in order for that, we have to help you with the security apparatus or with the kind of technician that you need to stop this thing because the whole of the region is being affected. So we have become a distribution center. I can tell you that, and beyond Liberia also. Yeah.
Do you share
Me tell
Smith?
Linford. Oh, Linford. The thing is glaring. We don't have this. It's just come on. We saw that $19.2 million drug were leaving Liberia. So Liberia is the center that's sending out drugs. So it's just glaring that if they can send it out, it's all we know where else they have been sending it. So that means it is a center that we may look at having a warehouse. If you have a warehouse, for those who work in warehouse, warehouse there to what? To distribute goods that come in for sale. So the police called the whole warehouse with drugs. So Liberia is a drug center.
Yeah, it's a storage. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is clear. We don't need to spend much time on it. But the only thing I can say is that the government should make sure that they work with the locals, work with people, even the users, the common users in the street. They will have more clues as to where they get these things from. You know,
Linford, bro, Linford.
yeah.
This question need to, I mean, just few meanings. For example, now there we come to hold the government responsible to do more and put pressure on the investigators and those that are being arrested as to where the drugs are being distributed to. And if you get the names of few countries that the drugs are being investigated to, I mean, other countries that the drugs are being distributed to, you can contact the security apparatus in these countries, for example, to help you put in stop to this thing by working together. So this is what a serious government would do. But anyway, the investigation is in progress, and let's see the government approach towards this thing and where the drugs were heading, and invite these other people to say, hey, your country also has been affected, so we have to work together in putting this thing to an end. For example, they make few arrests, and the network is very huge, bro, Linva. The
Okay,
network is
so
very huge.
but the only thing for me that makes me a little bit happy and relaxed for now is that if they have not caught this huge, I mean very huge consumer of drugs, it will still be there. They gotta be taking it all small, especially with the 12.
Linva, you gotta take down the question.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but we say going back to the we'll be asking the last question. So if this guy had not caught the draw, I'll be worried. But saying they call it now and then they got people who they are arresting, I'm not too worried again. I think these people will give some lead. But the final one is the Liberian Guinea border thing, and this is why we are talking about so much that everybody is getting tired of hearing it now. But still, nothing is happening, and I wish the people who support this government, some of them can tell us, because when we talk about it, they think we politicize it. When we talk about it, they think we don't have anything else to talk about this particular thing. But this is dangerous. Imagine that these people sit down in your country for months. Hey man, all of us here, let's say I go visit Mark or Paul. Then Mark say, my man, I got 2 rooms, but you can be on the other side. I say I'll be there for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, partner. So I get there. So my will start to think, but what happening? Or even he himself, he got problem with, but the children them start thinking, well, Papa, they made that king, and they made sort of go that they may just say now in our room, and we sleeping in the living room. Okay, moreover, so these people came, they didn't come voluntarily, they didn't come to visit us, they didn't come and ask us, say, we got crisis in our country, or give us small place to stay now. People brought arms and crossed their way, forced their way, and crossed in. Okay, so that means they are not just regular visitors that we say, oh, we're so kind that we're hosting these people. So tell me, and then our government sits and they say they're doing quiet diplomacy. Some of us have discouraged the idea of violence. Some of us have said, okay, the quiet diplomacy, we hope you can push it harder so it will be effective. But nothing seems to be happening. So should we give up or should we do something? Paul, what would you recommend? Give up or do
Well,
something?
the thing is, you can't give or you gotta keep talking because there's something just not wrong. I mean, I like the analogy you are giving about, but I will put it in a way. You live for you, your wife and children in the house. I march in and I tell your wife and children, this living room, I don't want to see you in the living room in your own house. So if they pass around, they cannot come to where I'm sitting for 6 months. And then when the children ask you, say, oh, I'm speaking to my neighbors, but your neighbors, you have not called your neighbor to talk to them. All we know you're speaking to your neighbors. And then the children getting impatient. This is the situation with Liberia. We've been lied to that there's diplomacy going on. But if diplomacy going on, you see the action. You see action. What am I mean action? ECOWAS will call meeting that you have BBC, you have African News, you have Our Spoon Network, you have OKFN. They will all be there to carry the story because there was a meeting call. Mana River Union will call, they will have a summit on the issue. AU will have a summit on the issue. United Nations, Guinea and Liberia ambassador will be at UN talking about it. That's democracy. But the fact is that all of these actions have not been taking place, and you expect me to say, "Oh, you're having silent diplomacy." Where? Who are you talking to? They're not talking to anyone. Until we see that action, that will mean that something is being done. So the bottom line here is the government, for some reason, they say silent means consent. Because they're so silent on the issue, this means they have given that land out to Guinea. Until we see the diplomacy happening, then we know the border issue have not dissolved. But silent means consent. They are aware of what they're doing. That's why we have not seen all of these organizations that Liberia is part of. No action has been taken.
Mr. Farr, are we going to give up or what we do? We go, eh?
Yeah, first of all, I will want to refer to your your starting comment that Liberian are getting tired of hearing about this border issue. Well, I would say that then you got no love for Mama Liberia, because the thing is someone invaded your country illegally and taking a portion of your country. So, and that is why we are into the cloud space here. We have to continue to talking about things that affect the country, because if we don't do and as mouthpiece, then who else going to do the job? So we that in this area that care
No,
to
actually, I was talking
enlighten
about
the
a lot of people
people.
are tired hearing us. Not that we are tired talking
No,
about it,
no,
but a lot of people are tired.
I'm not talking to you, brother Limfa. You're trying to buttress yeah, some of the things that you are saying, that as to people not supposed to get tired of hearing such. They're supposed to be also echoing and talking about it on their cloud space, what we call the social media, and helping to bring about the pressure. But a small group that are talking about it today, you go look after 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, the big networks, they are not talking about it, and they just come, they talk about it 5, 10 minutes, and not talk about it for weeks, then the government going to be, I mean, very relaxed. That, but like the pressure that is put into this drugs issue, if that same pressure was to be, or attention was to be drawn to the border issue, I think you will have fire on the government back, and you would have been getting some answers by now. And that is what we as people we are not doing when it comes to the border issue.
Okay, well, guys, I think you guys said it all. Nothing we here. The best we can do is to create the awareness to continue to beat the drum. When I was a small boy, I remember we used to go on the farm, right, and then to go mount the bird, and when the birds are coming, they will tell us, say, continue to knock a tree or knock the old cork, plop, 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 so the bird will get, because if you don't do it, if you get tired, the birds will come. Continue until the birds will hear you and they will go. And it was tiring, but we have to do it to be able to save the rice, because that's what we depend on to eat. So Liberia is our country. And if we don't continue to make the noise, to show concern, these guys will sit there, imagine the building structures. Sooner they might open their little market ground, build their little shops, their family then start crossing coming. And when you know, it becomes Republic of Guinea in Liberia. So we got to continue to talk. I was talking to a friend today, and the friend and I were just brainstorming. And the friend said, she said, well, maybe uh, our government is in, because when they say they're pursuing diplomatic solution, maybe since the allegation and accusation is that there was some illicit money activity that led the Guineans to come. maybe they make concession with the Guineans and say, okay, since we were money, you're sitting there and mind your own too. When you get tired, then you're cross. But the question is, suppose that is the case, and the Guineans are started money, and they found out that what they're getting is lucrative, and in the future, the government of Liberia say, okay, your time, I finish your move, and they say, no, we can't move. What we going to do? So I mean, everybody just brainstorming, finding all kind of
But
possibility. So
but,
we
but
hope. Uh,
go ahead. Berlin, the person in charge in Guinea, you are dealing with somebody who is very ruthless. Because if you watch what happened a few days ago at the ECOWAS summit, the way he entered into his neighboring country, Sierra Leone, with a huge military escort, and the Sierra Leoneans, they themselves, they sat there, and this guy entered the country with more than, I think, 100 to 150 men were armed. So this is not somebody that is easy to deal with. And looking at the security apparatus of Liberia, to buttress what you're saying, he's going to take advantage of Liberia if what is how they call it being mounted in our place is very lucrative. He's not going to go anywhere anytime soon.
it makes sense. But okay, Mike, you said something, and we have always said it here that if if the leadership of Liberia, the president of Liberia, was somebody who is very aggressive, like that of Dumuya, or like this fellow in Burkina Faso, you know.
My friend, even charged. Look, these are some of the
Okay,
reasons I miss Charlie. I'd have been charged telling you, think this guy will muster up how the country had the damn courage to enter Liberia.
You not
No,
boss the whole thing.
what are you talking about? Charles Taylor, you won't try that nonsense.
Okay, let's see your video. Let's see one quick video. I don't know what the video I gotta put on for you, but it's not related to the situation I'm talking about. But we are trying to look at the kind of way you can respond to certain things. So let's listen to the video quickly.
Isn't Charles Taylor and Samuel Doe, you try the foolishness that you try?
10 years of oppression, 10 years of genocide, and you have a lot of angry people. And I'll tell the world that we will do our best to minimize the situation. Nobody should expect any miracles from Charles Taylor. I'm not Jesus Christ.
Han har den største militære styrken I landet. Han kaller seg president.
This is not a military coup d'etat. No. This is an uprising of the people, ordinary people. There will be no military council after we take over. There will be no big bunch of military people. 10 years of...
Okay, and like I said, apology again. And this documentary was produced by a Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation, one of the stations here. But the reason why I play this, because a lot of people say, every time I talk to people, they will say, hey man, I didn't know that do time or that chat time, it will not happen. And
exactly.
This is the only clip I will lay my hand on, and luckily for while we were just talking, this clip popped up in my Facebook. And then I remember the early days of the coup or the war. This is a civilian man who challenged a whole government, a whole government in a war. So you think if it were people like this, or I know Doe would have responded. Okay? And if it were Taylor or Doe, you think we'll be in this situation today?
No, I can tell you.
Mark, you the security person with.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, you remember the story with Shaka Stevens and Samuel Doe? It was an incident that took place at the Liberia-Sierra Leone border when Doe decided to go after Shaka Stevens when he sent troops to the border to tell Shaka Stevens none of that nonsense is going to happen in Liberia. Remember, we were kids when Doe did that. In Liberia, since the Civil War, our politicians have a way to scare people. They will all, when they want to do bad to you, they will say, since we fought Civil War, nobody want to die. They will talk about peace. But they steal it from you. They put the finger in your eye to say, but for the sake of peace, We won't go back to the old days. How
Mhm.
on earth that you will sit down, you've been classified that you are little America in Africa? Think on this carefully. And America is the world superpower that connected to you directly. That some kind of guy will walk in your house to seize your house, and you be for chicken to say you can't say anything. It just quiet. It just shameless. You're not defending the country. The fact is, this guy is violent. You have to show him some sort of violence. You're not going to start shooting, but the fact is that you mount 500 soldiers at that border. Equals said we get scared or call. That's what they should have done. You're not going to shoot, but the fact is that Guinea, the Africans there, Sierra there, they seen that Liberia sent 10,000 men or 5,000 or 2,000 soldiers to that border. The whole of West Africa will panic. They will call a meeting straight away and nothing will stop. But the fact is that they refuse to do it. And we keep hearing democracy. This is just complete nonsense about this silent diplomacy that is going on. You have to show
And
strength.
you saw Chancellor Moab parking by him and he
Yeah.
talking. So if you move to that border and say, well, today we are coming to the border here and we want engage the Guinean soldiers, who the commander, we want to talk to the commander. We want to know why you guys are here. Face to face.
You know,
But man, let's hear from you.
you know where the blunder started. It is very shameful that President Barker was head of the Lofa Defense Force, or he was allegedly connected to the Lofa Defense Force. So I believe that he might have some sort of how they call it, security experience. So in the sense that when they got eyes, the first time they crossed, they came into Liberia and the surveillance were able to drive them back, and it went on a canoe. There where I expected President Barker to send no less than what Brother Paul said, no less than 500 men to that border to anticipate the Guinean next move. That, okay, it is possible that they could come back, and in order for us to deter them, we must send some sort of a deterrence to that border, no less than between 300 to 500 men, like Brother Paul said. And that would have deterred Guinea from making the next move that, okay, now Liberia has 500 men to that border. There's a country that have experienced civil war. Say what you want to say about the country now. They don't have only a stupid person was a stupid leader in one of the African countries or neighboring countries will do what the Guinean president did. For example, it just take Liberia the with twinkle of an eye to muster no less than 200 to 300,000 men and get the money. If you don't have the money, Liberia can use different kind of means to get weapons in the country. And these are not people that you're going to spend a lot of time on training. There are men and women in the country that, but the fear, like Brother Paul said, they inject into Liberian people, oh, we don't want to go back to the dark days. And that is one fear these guys are using. They inject this fear into Liberian people. They are stealing from Liberian people. Like Brother Paul Redford said, corruption, if the people want to get in the street to protest, oh, protests can, how the guys bring civil war, protests can disrupt the country. So we don't want to go back into the dark days. Yeah. But
Okay.
this guy, just a few seconds, brother. This guy invited, the young man in Guinea is smart. He invited Barker and talked to Barker face to face. He got his security team around Barker. Look at Barker team that he got, his security team. He went with anybody said I was trained from by the American, like Prince C. Johnson or what his name may be, who is at the NSA now, to evaluate the situation as they are talking with Guinean president one-on-one and his security apparatus, because they are evaluating one another psychologically, and you understand, security-wise. And Barker's voice is, oh, he don't have the energy. Even when he get up, the guy say, oh, I can take advantage of the man. Yeah.
But anyway, I think I've been pushing the diplomacy team, but there will come a time where the Liberian will have to stand up. Liberian will have to say, but you know what? Enough is enough. No, let me tell you, I know Liberian people, we can take plenty. Eh? We can take plenty. We get a balloon. You can put too much water or air in us. We take it. But when we get ready, we'll bust. Who knew that April 14 will come, then followed by April 12, then followed by December 24, 1990, that led us to where we are. We take in there. One day, like bro will say, no, listen, man, the politics here too much. People, and you struck a very good point. When the guys crossed the first time, it was civilian who withstood them. People stood against them. I mean, I saw
with cutlass and stuff.
Yeah, and they people left. So at that point, we should have deployed men right away. Because when the people are coming back, when they can look out right now, easily crossing the water coming. I mean, who will come with serious net to come Rakino? Before Rakino arrives, the thing blew already. Okay? So, but anyway, we hope that the government will do something and we hope that we can get across this thing. So, guys, it was good being here tonight. I think we've covered almost everything on our plate today. And for me, I want to say it was crucial. And happy 26th to all the people in Liberia, across the world, and especially Europe here, where we are celebrating. We hope that you enjoy the celebrations. If any other thing from you guys, and then we can close.
I just want to say Happy Independence Day, 179 years. We're confused, 179, and we stay confused, and I pray God that the confusion after this celebration should be better.
Yeah, I want to say happy 26th to all Liberian where you are, back home in the diaspora. And we should put aside this nonsensical thinking all the time that when you support a political party or a political party come to power and you continue to carry this party sentiment or ideology, it's about Liberia. It's no longer about a political party. You don't put a political party above an institution until we think that direction, that election is over, and even your own political party, you have to hold them accountable. So, but I want to end here and say, wish my fellow Liberian happy 26th from my end.
Thank you so much. And this is how I'll let you draw the curtain on this one. Meet us here on Saturday. No, Francis Mensah is not going to be here on Saturday. Tomorrow,
and we will not be here on Sunday as well because of the celebration. So everyone's celebrating the 26th.
Paul will be on his way to Belgium tomorrow, I think.
No, I'll be in Sheffield. So
you see, Liberians are everywhere and celebrating everywhere in Europe. And here in Norway, our group is in the second largest city, Trondheim. They are converging, and I'm getting all the feedback from there. But regrettably, my knee is hurting, pinning me. I cannot go there. So, because normally when we go to these things, we play football and things. And everybody say, "My man, you can't." So, you know.
And the 26th is the most celebrated holiday in Liberia history than all the other holidays. After the 26th, then the Flag Day comes next. Yeah.
That's the Independence Day. And so happy Independence Day to everybody. And this is how we let to leave.
And happy Independence Day to you or to my
So
Lynn
this is how we let to leave you guys.
I not see plenty things with my eyeball. I swear I feel passing more pressure. If you let cause me for nothing.